Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. I am Jim Coppinger with Zen Tech Consultants, and today we're going to be talking about working with 3D PDFs for general contractors. 3D PDFs, one of my favorite topics. I'm a big fan of these. I think they're something that is dramatically underused in our industry, and I think they have a lot of potential for all of us who are working in the construction world. All right. So before we get into today's presentation, just a few housekeeping items. Because this is a public forum, I do keep all of the attendees' microphones and telephones muted throughout, just so we're not listening to each other's background sounds. But if you guys have any questions or concerns, you can type them into the chat box or the question box, and I'll be happy to answer those later on. I have a lot of time at the end of the presentation here, just so I can answer any questions that come in as I'm going. So, like I said, I'm not going to stop and answer them, excuse me, in real time. But you guys just go ahead and type in what you want, and I'll get to them at the end, I promise. All right, so with that said, let's get into today's presentation. All right, so for those of you who haven't worked with us before, we're Zen Tech Consultants, and we are a premier Bluebeam partner, providing tech support, sales, training, everything you need in the Bluebeam Revu world. But we do quite a lot more than that. We're estimating and construction experts. We also work extensively on the design and technology side of the house. So really, when it comes to your projects and your work, pretty much anything you guys are doing, there's a good chance that we can help you out. So we hope you'll hit our website and see all the other good things we have to offer for you. So today, like I said, we're talking about dealing with 3D PDFs. And one of the things that we run into quite a lot in the fields in modern construction is the concept of building information modeling. Right? We're all aware of it. We all know that it's the future. We all know that it's important. But the big thing is there's a gap, right, between the 3D and the 2D design PDFs that we all deal with. We're all used to getting 2D PDFs from the engineers and the architects, being able to use those, access those out on our iPads or tablets or phones out in the field, and it's an immense benefit for all of us. Now, the problem that we run into is that while we have all of this massive amount of BIM information for a modeling, right? And it's really great that you can visualize design intent, you can do clash detections, you can do simulation, you can do all kinds of great, amazing things with this 3D BIM data. The problem is that it's huge. It's immense. It's not uncommon for a single building to be 20 to 30 gigabyte of data, right? No effective way for you to really be able to take that and go out into the field. Even if you do have a tablet that's powerful enough to run, a program like Revit or Civil 3D or one of those big systems, and be able to open up and access that building information model. And that's where the concept of 3D PDFs come into play, right? The 3D PDF, right, the way that it works is it's an output file from the BIM model itself. So when people are working using Bluebeam as their PDF printer inside of a CAD system like Revit or Civil 3D, whatever it may be, they have the option to output their BIM model as a 3D PDF. Now here's the thing that's amazing about those. All right, the 3D PDFs are dramatically smaller in size than the BIM model, and I do mean dramatically. I mean sometimes as much as 90 to 95% of the size, right? And well, that's the wrong way. I should have gone with that the other. Maybe they're 10% of the size. So in other words, if it's a 20 gig file, you're probably looking at something that's showing 30 or 40 to 50 megabyte as a PDF, right? Dramatically less, but still giving you access to that full 3D visualization and output structure. So it's incredibly important, right? So what I'm going to do today, right? So we're going to go into a little bit of a demo here. I've actually got Bluebeam Revu open, and you see that I actually have a 3D PDF file open here. Right now, you may look at this and you see it's just this little tiny building. It's very small. This three-dimensional mini building, it's like the size of a little strip mall that we're looking at here today is less than a megabyte in size. It's very small, right? Very easy to work with. Now, you may look at that and think, okay, Jim, I've seen PDFs with images in them before, but that's not an image. That's an actual 3D file. In other words, with an image, right, I could zoom in and out, but with a 3D PDF, you see it's a full three-dimensional model that I can actually move around. It's Bluebeam Revu. It's just a PDF. I can zoom, I can pan, I can move all about it, right? Take a look at the items I want, okay? Right? And again, you can look at that and say, well, that's nice, Jim, but it's just this solid model object. I can't really do that much with that. And you're right, you can't. But the benefit here is when you get around to actually generating and working with these 3D PDFs, and this is particularly useful if you're partnering with the same architects and engineers, or if you're in some kind of a design bid build process where you really need to be able to access the data, and you can get someone who can format it for you very, very easily, right? It allows you the ability to just go in and save views, just like you would inside of a program like Revit, any building information modeling system, right? So you can see up here that right inside of Bluebeam, I have some pre-saved views, right? So again, I have my standard views, right? Left, right, front, rear. So if I'm gonna go look at the front of the building, all right, no biggie. I could have just panned or zoomed to that, but you can see it's there. I can look at the top, the left, the back. But what's really nice about this, right, is that you can actually go and you can save views with items hidden. So in other words, you see I have one called left ductwork. So I'm going to look from the left side, right? And you notice it's going to turn off, right? And I'll show you how to do that in just a minute, right? But you notice that it turned off everything except for the ductwork here, right? That I can now go in and I can see the actual ceiling returns. I can see the ducts where they're coming through to each of these individual bays, okay? So I can easily go in and save and process those views to say, you know, show them any way that I want. Right. One of the other things that's incredible, I'm just going to go back to the default view here, which is kind of the full building structure. And you can see I've got roofs, ceilings, everything. One of the things that I really, really like about this, right, is that not only do I have the ability to isolate and save different views and processes, I can actually also add in clipping planes. I can cut sections, even angled sections, directly into my 3D PDF. Right? And then I can adopt or adjust those in real time to see what I need to see. So what I mean by that, so you see here, I've got a view saved with the section box already on, okay? So you see now what I have here, right, is the whole building, right? And I've already got some items turned off in that view. But you see that it gives me this outline box. If I just click on the box, you see that it gives me the ability here to just go over, and just by hovering over any of these arrows, you see that if I need to see a cut section kind of through these rooms right here, I can just hover over here and just pull the box back and go, oh, that's what I wanted to see. There you go, I need to see through that section. I went a little too far, let me come back. Yeah, right there, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see where those ducts were coming through. I want to cut through those two diffusers, right? And I can see exactly what's going on. I can do that in any direction just by pulling back in. You see, just like that, I can cut as deep or as shallow into any building structure as I want to. And at any point, I can just pull those all the way back out to show the whole building. And I can pan and do that from any angle. I can even do vertical cuts if I need to cut down through floors, right? So if I'm looking at a multi-story building and I want to see what's going on the first floor, pull it up to the second floor, third floor, fourth floor, whatever I need, just like that. Now that's really nice, right? So it gives you the ability to very simply, with just a simple drag, visualize just about anything within your structure. Now the other view that I am a big, big fan of, right, is the idea of the section plane. Because one of the things that's also really nice here is that not only do I have the ability inside of my 3D PDF here in Bluebeam to do that sectional cut, I can actually do, right, what we call a planar cut, right? So doing a planar cut, I can cut these on angles, right? And a lot of times that's really important. We want to be able to see like what's going on in a room, but I also want to see like what's happening a little bit beyond it and in front of it. When you see here, I get the same kind of structure, right? And you see that here, I can actually go ahead and I can rotate the angle of the box, okay? Or I can click on the arrows, right here. Oops, sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. I can click on the actual arrows, and you see that I can actually adjust the levels of those, right, up and down to where I need them to be, right, all the way out. So I can basically move this plane into wherever I want. And I can adjust the plane. Right, again, I can just come up in here and you see I can rotate that to a different angle, whatever plane I need, okay? Then I can just go ahead and I can adjust and slide the plane down. And you see it's giving me that section plane. I'm cutting through first, second, third floor. So I can see the roof deck, its structure, the parapet walls, right? What's going on inside the plenum. I can see the cut through the walls themselves, cut through the columns, the flooring, all in one shot, right? And I can adjust that and move that, right, to, you know, one side or the other, wherever I need it to be. Right? I can just go in and adjust those with no problem. Okay, just by shifting and moving that plane. So it's another great way to be able to visualize all your items. I'm just going to go back to the default view here. Oh, I'm going to turn off. I'm going to hide the cross-sectional view there. All right. So I'm just going back to the overall view here inside the 3D PDF. Now, one of the other things that's really nice here, right, is that I have the ability to go in, right, and begin to work with individual items. So you see as I pick on different objects like the roof deck here, right? You see that I've got the roof deck selected and it highlights it so I can see what object I'm on, right? And then I have the ability just by right clicking, right, that I can go in, I can do things like hiding and isolating or isolating a set of parts. So if I only want to work with the roof deck, I can isolate that. You see I'm only working with the roof deck. So I can look at that, I can measure it, I can put markups on it, I can check things, right? And then I can just go back and say, show all the parts again, right? I can also go in if I need to be able to see through that roof deck. I click the roof deck and I just hide it. And just like that, you see it's still there. It's still selectable, right? But I've gone in and I've isolated that. So if I want to get rid of walls, I want to see what's going on, I can just hide that wall. Right? And then you see I can see through the wall. I can go in and hide that wall. And I can see what's going on behind that wall. Okay, and at any point I can just right click and show all the parts again. And you see all the walls, everything comes right back. Right? I even have the ability to isolate a specific type of part. So for example, right, here I've got this particular back end of the, I believe this is a return air grill. Right? I can isolate parts. And you see it shows me only those parts. So I can see the full list of parts and components, whether it's light switches or, your VAV boxes, return air grills, whatever it is you need to isolate and focus on, right? So you can count how many there are, you can mark them up, you can comment on them, you can do whatever you want, right? So it's a very easy thing, right? To just go ahead and show and isolate individual parts, okay? So you can just click on anything that you want, right? And work with them. You can even make things transparent, by the way. So if you don't want to turn something completely off, like the roof deck, if you want to see through it but not turn it off, right, you can just right click on it, right, and you can make it transparent. And you can see that it is still there. So I can still select it, but see how you can actually now see through it? Even though it's still there, it's still selectable. I can check it and see where it is, right? But I can see through it, okay? Which is a great way to be able to, work with everything, right? And then I can just go back in and just make it not transparent, okay? All right, now, one of the real benefits that goes into this, or two major benefits that go into this. The first one is that when this file is generated out of a tool like Revit, right? When we're dealing with building information modeling, we really want to have all the building information data. It's one thing to have the visualization here, which is really, really beneficial, really helpful to be able to go in and isolate and focus on the systems that you're working with at any given time. It definitely helps. But what are those systems? Okay. One of the really nice things here is that in Bluebeam, right, when these 3D PDFs are generated, all of the building information modeling data is extracted with it. So you can see here, I've got all of the data, right? And an even better part here. So you see here, for example, I've got 600 by 600 by 250 air terminals. Now I can go in and I can isolate. You see when I click on individual one, see it zooms me to that specific one and highlights it. That's that air terminal. But if I want to go in and say, look, I need to see them all, you see it's highlighted for me, all the air terminals, okay? So I can easily go, those are the 600 by 600, right? Those are the 300, those are the 250. So you see I can actually select groups, right? Show me all the air terminals, right? So I got the ceiling, show me the ceilings. Curtain panels, okay? Different size curtain walls, right? All I have to do is just kind of minimize all these different components, right? If I need to see the curtain wall mullions, there, see them over there? Curtain wall mullions of a certain size. I want to see I've got two types of doors here. I've got a 76 and an 88.5. Where are the 76 doors? There they are, over there. Right? Where are the 88s? There they are. Okay, so I can easily identify, and all of the items, all of this is being pulled directly from the CAD system, including all of the element IDs, right? The phase lines, the volume, the areas, whatever building information, whatever BIM data has been added to these component pieces within the CAD system are all exported here for you to, instantly visualize, access, and work with. Right? And you can easily come over here and do all of the same things. So I can go in, I can zoom to the part center, I can isolate that part. So if I'm like, yeah, I need to see this fitting. See, even here, I can just do it right from, I can hide that part, right? I can show that part. I can isolate that part. Okay, whatever I need to do. And then I just go back and show all the parts again. Right? It's that easy to find and work with these. And what's really nice about this is that you can also take and you can extract all of this data, right? You can pull that all out and extract it out to an Excel spreadsheet, right? So you can export all of this data, all this information in here as well, right? Just by pushing it out, going up to your standard parts list here, right? Instead of being on the model trees, right? You can go up and you can do an export, okay? Right? You see, you can go in here, you got the same tools here where you can change all your views, right? You can actually play through animated views, right? So you say I can cycle through all the different views, and you see it has a little time release. See, it kind of gives you a little mini movie showing you all the different views that you have, okay? You can handle all your basic rotating, modifying, adjusting, whatever it is that you need to do, right here inside of your view, just by clicking and using your mouse button, right? And then, like I said, when you're done, you can actually go ahead and extract out all of that 3D PDF data. So I didn't have it open. I'm just popping open an Excel spreadsheet here real quick where I extracted out all that data, okay? And you can see, you can easily pull out all of the information, right? Whatever BIM data was included can be extracted out to an Excel spreadsheet to really make your life easy when it comes time for estimating and extracting, okay? So that's a huge, huge benefit, right? So I'm a big, big fan of that, right? You can do so much with these. Now, one of the most important things to my mind, right, is the idea that, it's great to be able to look, to visualize, to track the data, but at the end of the day, you need to be able to comment on it. And one of the things that we really struggle with in a BIM environment, right, is being able to label and add markups and comments, etc. But with Bluebeam, we can absolutely do that. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to switch back to that left ductwork view. All right, so let's say I wanted to go in and needed to add a note. Maybe I need to put in a call out here, right? And I'll just kind of, sorry, didn't mean to put a call out there. All right, I'm going to delete that. Beep. Put something in the wrong spot. I was trying to talk. All right, so I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to rotate my view here first, right? And maybe this branch is too small. I want to go in and I can actually just go in and throw in a markup right on that, right? That just, says, hey, this is too small. Make 16-inch square. Okay, I can add a note, a comment, right? Whatever I need to add in, wherever I need it to be, right? So there you go. But what's nice about that is you got the note, it's here, it's readable, and I can use all my standard Bluebeam tools and properties for editing line weights and colors and fonts and heights and sizes, all the standard items that I would do in Bluebeam to make it look however I want it to look, right? Whatever I need it to be, I can adjust sizes, I can move this to wherever I want it, right? So that this looks a little, nice and clean from that view so they can see, right? But what's nice about this is that now when I go in and I modify and I rotate this, right, and I go to a different location, you see one of the things you see that blue circle? All markups, no matter how many you put on, they're always going to be visible so that people can look at that at any point and say, hey, there's a markup over there. What's that markup? All they have to do is see when I hover over it, you just click on it, it will pull them right back to the view. Oh, okay, that's what that markup is. And I can isolate and I can use all my standard Bluebeam tools for statuses and control, all the things that I would normally do with these. And then we can host them all inside of Bluebeam Studio and do everything that we need to do. So it's a really, really powerful tool. I'm a huge fan of working with the 3D PDFs. And then, like I said, it's incredible. Their sizes are so much smaller and these are so much easier to use in the field. You can actively work these on an iPad or a cell phone. It's amazing what you can do with these. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to show you today. So with that, I'm gonna jump back to my slide deck here. We did have a number of questions come in here as I was talking. So let's see, first question I got was from Henny, who asked, I see this presentation is recorded. Will this recording be available? Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, everybody who's here today will get a link emailed within the next 24 hours, and you can share this recording with anybody else that you need to, Henny. And even folks who, not that you guys really care because you're here, but other folks who didn't show up, anybody who registered will get a recording of this presentation as well. I got a question from Ahmed. Can people who don't have Bluebeam open these files? Yes, Ahmed, absolutely, right? The 3D PDF, it's a file format, it's an open standard, and other PDF readers like Adobe and Acrobat and so on, they can open them. But I will tell you that Bluebeam does the best job and gives you the most tools for the markup. The other ones can open up that 3D visualization, but they don't all have the BIM data. They don't give you that capacity for hiding and isolating, and in particular, most of them lack the ability to add the markups the way that Bluebeam does. Okay, I got another question from Henny. I'm sorry, and I kind of stretch it down, so I'm trying to stretch out your question here. I see this, it says something about, I only got part of your question. Oh, you're asking, Henny's asking, when I extract data, does that mean it includes counts of square feet of building items? The data in this particular case, I mean, Bluebeam does that very well, Henny. But in this case, it depends on what the BIM information was, how it was structured in the original, Revit model, right? So if you're getting, volumes and mass and square foot and areas and so on of extracted building data, then yes, right? If that's data that's been included in the building information model, then yes, it will be available here in Bluebeam as well, right? It's just about how it's been formatted and what LOD, what level of detail they put in the building information model, okay? All right, and I got one other question from Julia. What version of Bluebeam do I need to make a 3D PDF? Yeah, in order to do that, you will need the CAD version, right? There are 3 versions of Bluebeam. There's the standard, the CAD, and Extreme. To make these, you need the CAD version. And the reason you need that is it puts a Bluebeam plugin inside of whatever CAD system you're using that comes with the base native ability for you to actually extract and generate and print these 3D PDFs, okay, directly from your CAD system. Okay, so I think with that, I've answered all the questions that I can see. All right, and we can go ahead and wrap it up here today. I want to thank you guys for joining us. I hope you got some good information. I really hope that you guys look a little deeper into Bluebeam and into how you can work with 3D PDFs. And if you guys have any questions, if you need licenses, if you need upgrades, if you need training, or anything at all, please feel free to reach out to us at the information on screen. Other than that, thank you guys for joining today, and I look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Have a great day, everybody.